Hi, I'm Stefan, the BMW DIY guy, and do you want to safely jump your car? Then the Mophie Powerstation is for you. All right, guys, so let's talk about this product a little bit, and then I'm going to show you how you could potentially use it. But I'm already a big fan. Now, normally I would do like an unboxing video, right? And this is the Mophie Powerstation that I picked up from Kies Motorsports. Now, normally I would do an unboxing, and I'm going to show you little bits and pieces of it, but it's already out of the box because I had to use it. So the irony is, I was talking to Brian of Kies Motorsports, right? And I've gone through several products like these, bought off that really big website that you can buy stuff online. You can probably guess what it is. I went out and looked at their highest recommended one. I had one in my car. I had one in my X5. They both failed. Neither would work. They'd be fully charged, and the X5 especially. I had that battery die a couple of times. I plugged in the brick, all fully charged, connected it. Nothing, never would work. And I would always have to hard jump my car using jumper cables. Now, I don't know about you guys, but for as long as I've owned a car and for as long as I've had to use jumper cables, they always make me nervous. They always do. I've seen them fail once. It was really, really bad. I saw somebody cross jumper cables and they blew up. I can still see it today. So a product like this can be a huge advantage. It's much, much safer. It's compact, takes up less room than your cables. It's easier to hook up, and then you can power all kinds of other things with it. Now for me, I went through like I said, I went through two of these, different model, different manufacturer. Neither of them worked, and I'd really given up on them, candidly. I was like, they're bad. They're just bad. I will use jumper cables from now on. So I was talking with Brian, and he was like, have you seen the Mophie? And I'm like, no, I haven't. So I'm really excited by this. So I'm going to show you how you use it. But what's cool about this, and one like differentiating feature that this has that none of my others had, is, for example, when we connect it to your battery and you press the button, it'll give you a quick safety check and analysis of your battery even. And I had to use this. So as I'm getting ready to do this review, and I'm going to set it up, and I want to show you how it works in the whole 9 yards, I might have killed the battery in the new X1 in the family. It's like, oh no! When running for this, thankfully it had power straight from getting shipped to me, and I plugged it in, car fired right up. So I'm actually really enthusiastic about this Mophie Powerstation because I've already used it once and it worked perfectly when every other one I've ever had failed. Okay, so let me get set up a little bit differently. I want to walk you through a couple of little features of this, the things that do come in the box, and I want to show you how you would hook this up to your car and use this if you needed it. All right, guys, so let's talk about what comes in the package first, and then we're going to talk about how you would potentially set this up on your car. What I really appreciate is that it's not big and bulky, and of all things, it actually has reminder directions on the carrying bag that it comes in, which is really, really nice. So if you have a spare one of these in your car, or you have a family member that maybe doesn't do this quite as often, this is a great way to remind them of how to use it. So in the bag, you get a AC adapter with a USB port on it. You get a USB-C cable, because most devices are C's these days, so that's the rounded style plug like you see on a lot of the Samsung Android phones and so on. And then, most importantly, you've got your jumper cables. Now, when you look at this, what I also really like is it has separate ports all the way around. So when we look at this, each different function has its own power button. So if you were going to jump your battery, you would lift this cover right here, and then the cable plugs straight in. It only goes in one way, and you'd press this button. Now, hopefully you'd be able to see we're currently sitting at 100% power, and it's blinking green. I'm going to talk about that function when we hook it up here in just a second. Okay, but press that again to turn it off. So you've got USB port power here. And the other thing I really love about these modern batteries is that worst case scenario, we're so dependent on our phones, right? That, heaven forbid, you put your car in the ditch, something happens, you desperately need to power your phone. I've been in that place. Well, if you carry one of these in your car, you have two USB ports here, and you can plug it in, and this would absolutely charge your devices. So that's going to be a really good thing as emergency backup power if you need it. Now, what's also unusual here that you'll see on this one, it also has a straight AC plug, which is pretty cool. They talk about potentially powering your laptop or other accessories. I don't have a lifespan if you plugged in something like a laptop, because obviously the power requirements there are so different than other devices. But you could even, worst case scenario, do that. I've been in a scenario once or twice out where if I could only have 10 more minutes of life off my laptop, that would be a great thing. Okay, you have your port to charge it, and then you have your own emergency light. I'm not going to turn it on right now and just blind you, but the light is really bright, as you can see, even facing away. It has white, red, emergency blink, all the good stuff. Okay, but the primary function, the one I've already used that I mentioned, is plugging in and jumping your car. So it really is that simple. All you have to do is just pull the cover off. You're going to plug this in. As you can see, the plugs are shaped, so they're only going to go in one way. So you just press them in firmly. Okay? Now, every car is going to be different. Every place that you have a jump point is going to be different. Obviously, I'm almost all BMW. So, and almost every BMW of the last decades have jump points up in front. So I've already flipped back my positive cover here, and you'll have a negative post. So you'll look around and you'll look for a hard metal post that usually stands out a little bit different. On my X5, it's a big bolt that sits up. It's very obvious. It's not painted, anything else. But you'd want to take this and connect the black to your negative and the red to your positive. Okay? And then we're going to show you the display here in a second. Let me set up a little bit differently so you can see it when it's hooked up, and you'll see what the advantage of this can be. All right, so here we are a little bit closer so you can see the display. Now, this is in my M2C. The battery's fully charged. I don't have any concerns here. But when I connected this to the X1, it told me it had 1.5 volts. Yeah, no wonder the car wasn't starting. Okay, so in a case like this, you'd plug it into your ground, which I have on this side. I have it on my positive post on that side. You don't have to have any of the worries of crossing jumper cables or plugging in into a car or finding someone to jump your car for you. And I've been in that situation. I've stood in the rain for a couple of hours, hoping to find somebody to jump my car. You'd connect it. You press the button next to that port, and it blinks because it's doing a safety check. Once the light goes green, jump in your car, fire it up. It's that simple. You come back, your car is running. You can just turn it off, disconnect it, and off you go. All right, y'all, it really is that simple here for the Mophie Powerstation. And, the reality, you can buy one of these anywhere. You can get them at the big box store, you can get them at the auto parts store, you can get them online. There's a million places where you can buy these, and I've already bought 2 of these, like I've said before, and they don't work. They've never worked for me. So for me, knowing that I trust Brian of Kies Motorsports, and he does such a fantastic job, he uses these himself, that was a degree of confidence. And so I'm happy to buy one of these from Brian, and it's already worked for me, like I mentioned. So I highly recommend it. And I don't know about you, but this is a degree of confidence. So I'm comfortable using jumper cables in worst case scenario, but if I can't find someone to help me jump my car, it doesn't matter whether I'm good with jumper cables or not. I can't do it. And the other thing to think about is also other members of your family. Maybe you have folks in your family who are not as comfortable with jumper cables. You don't have to worry about the safety concerns of do they know how to do it right? Even if they have done it, maybe it's been a long time. And then also, do you really want some family member of yours trying to find someone in a parking lot like after a game or an event or out late at night? I don't. I would much prefer for them to pull one of these out of their glove box, plug it in, 15 seconds later, the car's started, they're out on the road, and they're on their way home. That is a huge degree of comfort for me, and one of the reasons why I would want to buy one of these from Brian, and I highly suggest you do too. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please click like and subscribe. It makes a huge difference to my channel. It honestly does, and I would really appreciate it if you do that. Thank you for Kies Motorsports, and Brian specifically. This is a great product that I'm going to be glad to have in my car. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you on my next video.